All right, we got a lot of resin to use up. This is leftover resin. Time to throw it all into a pour. Here we go. Howdy, howdy, y'all. This is Clara Lawrence. All right, so my last video, I did a review on this guy. This is a cup that's developed by mixed media girl, Marcy Ferro, and she's got a split cup. So you can create a dirty pour by either putting a single color over here and a single color over there. And it's meant for acrylic pouring. However, of course, I couldn't do it with acrylic pouring. I had to do it with resin. So, and I also had to up it a notch. I have a dirty pour of whites and a little bit of gold in there, and a dirty pour of really vibrant reds and purples and plums there. So I've got some left over, and I got to do something about that. So we're going to throw everything we got left in this side and everything we got left on this side as far as these particular colors. And we're not just going to do a traditional dirty pour, pour. We're going to do a flip cup. So we're going to see how this thing behaves with a flip cup. So should be interesting. All right, let's get this set up. And I also don't have any resin to pour down for a base here. So we're going to have to, well, let's hope we have enough. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to go right to it. All right, there's this guy here. You get to see everything that I do here. Okay, so here's our cup. I'm going to raise it up. Bring this guy down. Thank goodness for tripods, I'll tell you that much. They're handy little buggers. And I'm gonna pivot this up so you can see what I'm doing. Now, what I did do behind the scenes that you haven't seen is I put, since I had little bits of white left over, I just went ahead and combined them into this. So I'm gonna pour all the whites left over into here. And I'll put all the colors I use at the end of the video, so if you're ever wondering, and you could probably see some of the colors as it pours out. Now, normally I wouldn't pour a dirty pour into another dirty pour, but in this case, I'm just utilizing everything I got left. But it's different variations of whites, meaning a white solid, transparent white with a glitter in there, a pearlescent white, and a little bit of white with a stone coat base tin in it for the effects. And I need to scrape out the rest of this. So a lot of options just to make it more interesting. All right, let's see if I can encourage this to come down. And so far for a dirty pour cup, this has been working out excellent and gives effects that I wouldn't be able to do normally with resin, or it would be really tricky, meaning having a double dirty pour, a dirty pour combination there and a dirty pour combination there and pouring both together. It'd be really tricky to do with 2 cups side by side. Whereas I'm sure it's a little bit easier with acrylic pouring, but not so much with resin. Okay. So since this is already poured, some of the colors have kind of mixed a little bit, but I'm going to go in the same order I went before. But in this case, I'm going to be dumping all my gold in. So we'll see how this does. All right. So I've got a very deep purple here. I think it's called Andromeda. And these colors are by Resin Art. So they're very rich, which you will see shortly. And it works so well with the white. And if you're wondering how I'm going to work on cleaning this cup out after I'm done, I'm not. What I'm going to do is literally set this cup to the side and let it set. And since resin's a self-leveling agent or a type of liquid, it'll smooth out on the bottom and create a nice flat base. So once it's set hard, you can mix another batch of resin onto it with no problems. Because I used to do it all the time with inexpensive plastic cups that I couldn't peel the resin out. So I would use up all the resin that I could inside of it and then just set it upright on my table and let it set up. And then I would just pour the next batch in there and mix up my colors the next time I used up. And it worked fine. I got to get, you know, hundreds of pours out of those cups with no problem. Tricky part is using every last little drop so you're not wasting the resin. Especially when it starts to get thicker. It gets really tricky. All right, so that last one I did, I think it's called Sangria. And this one is called Puppy Love. Like I said, I'm trying to get every last little drop out. And this is Wild Jasmine, which is a very hot pink, but it has a almost an interference kind of sheen to it. I love it. Of course, if you know me by now, you know I love the bright colors. All right, now for the gold. Now gold has a tendency to take over. So this is gonna be a little bit of a mystery. Well, not necessarily a mystery, but a little bit of a risk. I'll put it that way. What is this gold gonna do? Oops. Like I said, trying to use every last little drop. All right. Hopefully we have enough of the same. Ooh, look, it's the same amount of the white and the color. So, yay. All right. Get my chair out of here. And yes, my chair has some areas of resin on it, but it's meant for the studio, so I have projects where I like to sit down. All right, my hands are not clean enough here still. All right, I'm gonna set up and I'll get started in just a moment. Okay, we are ready to go. It's been sitting just a little bit. That gold already looks interesting next to the colors there. Okay. So usually what I would do is put a very, very thin coat of clear on here just to let the colors glide a little bit easier. But I literally have used up all my resin mixing up with colors and stuff. So I've got no more clear left. It can still work. It's just a little bit more work to do. So a flip cup, you saw me do a dirty pour with my other video where you're literally pouring it very slowly. And the other cup technique is a flip cup where you're literally taking the cup and going whoop, and then you just wait for it to pour out. So that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. So these cups look like they are, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say look like. They are poured, or blah, blah, blah. Let me try this again. They are done with a 3D printer. And there is a little bit of texture in there. So I was really want to do a flip cup at the end. So that way I could have a very fine resin coating on the entire cup. And that would make it easier each time I use it, because then it's got a nice slick side to it. So, and this is interesting right here. I'll have to send that picture to Marcy and why it's gotten really dark in that spot there. I wonder if it has gone into some of the weave on this. But so far, really liking the cups. And if you do acrylic pouring, you're gonna adore the cups. But even with resin, I think this will work out really well. And possibly even some bigger pours. Like if you do tables and things like that, it will work out rather well. All right, so we're waiting and we're waiting. Oh, of course, there's a lot more left in there. Ah! All right, I'm gonna let this pour out some more. I don't think I waited enough. I'm gonna try and hold it in a similar position as it was and just let it ooze out. Sometimes with flip cups, you get those really big cells and they're really interesting. Right. I've got some molds put to the side. I can use that with whatever's remaining in that cup. Clean off my fingers before I start tilting my nice, pretty tray. Now normally the little mishap from flipping it up and letting it drizzle won't happen with a flip cup technique too much. You'll get a little bit of it, but not nearly as much as I got there. All right, so let's see. I don't think there's any easy way to do it. We'll just do it. This doesn't look like a whole lot on the tray. Is there more in here? Yes. Okay. With my judgment going on here, I think I'm just going to hold it there for just a little bit longer. I'll be back. Okay, so I thought I would flip it over and get some more out of there. Didn't get a whole lot. So we're just gonna hope we got enough for the tray. Cross your fingers, here we go. We are doing super tilt big time. Now I'm wondering if I need to mix up some more resin. This is a good example of how having a little bit of clear coat can make a huge difference, because the colors would glide on there because basically you've already got a thin coat of resin on there, so you end up using a little bit, quite a bit less of color because of it. So a little color goes a long way in that, with that clear coat. want that to start dragging. Okay, my gut is telling me I need to mix up some more, and I'm gonna mix up a little bit more, and I think I'm gonna do some more white, and I'm gonna do some more wild jasmine, like mix up 4 ounces. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what I ended up mixing up was some white with some clear glitter in there, so a little bit of sparkle. And then I did some white, mostly white jasmine with just a hint of Andromeda. And I have to admit, it made a gorgeous red violet kind of color with, you know, kind of hinting towards the very bright pink. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bold ribbon of color of the red violet color I just kind of mixed up, and then run the white through here, and then continue with my tilting and stuff, and then it will end up blending in theory. So let's get this party started here, or continue the party, I should say. All right, so we're just going to work it in between and stuff. All right, the same thing with the red violet. If you get to a certain place where you don't think, it's like, oh, I don't think I got enough resin, stop what you're doing, go mix up just a few more ounces, and do kind of what I'm doing here. So once I start working this around, you'll get the other colors popping up again. All right. I'm trying to mostly put the heat on the older resin and a little bit on the newer resin. Lightly as I can on that, but it's going to be hard to figure it. And then overall, in this case, I almost wish I could heat it up from below and up, but yeah, that doesn't work out quite like that. All right, so how am I going to get the purple to move first? I think I have to do is just work in a fashion that, this is what I was worried about. See how it's, you can see almost the layers there. Let me try and see if I can. This is just showing all kinds of issues. We're just gonna have to work it through and see what happens. Get this sucker coated. See what we can do. Or should I let this cool? What do you guys think? Do you think I should let it cool here and then come back and heat up the overall piece? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But do me a favor, write down in the description what you think I should have done at this point. What would your gut would have been? Okay, I've been letting it cool for a little bit, but the new resin seems to be flowing still a lot more than the old resin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them both moving the same, so we're just going to make the best of it. I don't want to say I'm frustrated, but I'm a little, yeah, I guess I'm frustrated. Trying to figure out how to make this work and still come off as a nice piece. So hopefully I didn't screw it up. You see what I mean by harder to move around when there's no resin there to begin with? You get the idea there, it starts skipping around a bit. He's just gliding over the old resin. Right on top. Okay, let's see if I can get it to go down. Okay, now it will flow. All right. Let's see now. What am I going to do with this? All right, let me try to manipulate it with the heat gun a bit. And I may have to do the flip cup test one other time, but just all have enough resin in there to begin with. Hello, hubby.
Hello.
We got a lot of bubbles coming up. Okay, I was able to bring in some of the plums up, which the plums and the pink started mixing together. Come up to the surface and move them over the purple, so you got the purple a little bit more integrated into the piece. Did kind of the same thing with the white and stuff. So this didn't exactly turn out how I'd like it, but I'm not done yet. So I'm gonna watch this for a little bit. I'm gonna let it set up, but basically hit it a few times with the gun to get rid of bubbles and stuff. But I think this might be a really good candidate to do some more drawing on top of, because we've still got some movement around here. It's not super busy where it distracts from the drawing, and the drawing will be a nice complement to it. So I'm not gonna take it as a loss. I'm gonna take it as a, you know, this is a good base to do drawing stuff on top of. You know what? I'm gonna get the torch out. Where's my torch? Torch down. Nope. Come on, Bubbles, go away. Let me bring you in for a close-up. This ought to be interesting to see if more develops as it sets, especially since I use so much heat on there. Sometimes surprises can happen while it sets up. Sorry, I zoomed you in without warning there. So we will just have to see. So wait a minute, maybe we ought to do this with a piece. I'm gonna change this up a little bit. See if you guys are watching the whole thing through. All right, I'm gonna get you guys to vote in on the comments below. Here's the vote. Do I do a drawing of a dragon or a horse on this? Okay, focus. There we go. This almost kind of looks celestial a little bit. There's a lot of nice glitter in there, so it'll be pretty blingy when we get it outside to show it in the sun. There's some nice subtle stuff in here going on. So I think the piece will look nice. It's just not one of my big, you know, wow, showy kind of pieces. But in combination with the drawing, I think it'll do just fine. So let me show you my drawings that I'm talking about. I'm gonna get back out to one. All right, I've done a couple of these. Whoops, I hit my tripod. All right, this is one I did of a horse, and I used the chrome markers. And then this one is a dragon I did recently. So, what's your vote? Should I do a dragon or should I do a horse? It'll be a different horse or a different dragon, but you guys get to vote. All right, I will see you tomorrow while this sets, and hopefully it'll come out nice. Until then, later. So hey Marcy, I just used your cup with a video and did, of course, a resin dirty pour, and it worked out fabulous. So I wanted to give you that heads up. But the other thing I wanted to show you is this on the bottom. So I don't know if it broke through some of the cells or something like that, but it definitely looks like it's in a lower level. So just to give you some input on that part. But yeah, I did a mixture, a dirty pour mixture over here and a dirty pour mixture over here, and was able to pour it out together. So pretty cool. Just giving you some feedback. Later. Hey y'all, this is Clara Lawrence. Okay, so I'm doing something a little bit different on this video. It didn't quite go as planned, so there's a little bit of surprise towards the end of the video. I have a little trouble with the resin. I kind of push it through. No fault of the cup that I'm using at all. And you'll see what I mean a little bit later on. I just didn't plan some things out well. You're just gonna have fun out. Anyway, so I've got a special request. So I want some input. I need some decisions to be put in the description below. So you get to vote on a design. Well, not a particular design, but more the subject of the design. I'm not going to say anything more. So hang on and you'll find out later. So here's the next day on this guy. And even though it fought me quite a bit, I kind of like it. So we've made up. All right, sorry about that. I didn't warn you on the zooming. But you can see a lot more of the glitter and the white here. But remember, I also mixed up extra glitter for that white zone. And all that sparkle in there is probably some of the remnants of the white glitter also. So a lot of delicate stuff going on, even though they're bold colors. It's kind of fun. All right, y'all, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, but definitely hit the bell to get notified next time I put a video up. Later, y'all. So I wanted to show you this. So this is Marcy's cup the next day. Resin's on there, it's touchable. It's got a nice slick surface. So I don't have a problem pouring colored resin in here and using this as a vessel to pour the next day, because all of the stuff is cured. Now, granted, it needs to sit for a little bit longer. It's still at a soft cured stage, but it'll harden up really, really well, bond with this plastic. And yeah, you just pour some more resin in there and pour it out. So the next time I might go and flip it up over for a while and let it drain out as much as possible, meaning the little bits. And then right at the last minute, you know, flip it up again so it can settle back down to the bottom. But that helps eliminate too much buildup. But yeah, this can definitely be used for resin. So yay. So way to go, Marcy. I love this.